We are going to go ahead and get started then. We again would like to welcome you. The expectations and objectives of today's presentation over these next 90 minutes is to be as brief as possible, actually, with the formal presentation portion. We want to make sure we give you enough information to hit the ground running and be successful here at the college, give you highlights and overviews of what you can expect in terms of services and programs and resources that'll help make you successful along the way. Also discuss expectations and responsibilities that we have of you as students, now being participants in our community here at CCP. And more importantly, in my opinion, most of today's session will be designed to get you to meet one another, meet some of our outstanding professional and student staff members, get you connected with a larger part of our community early and often, starting today, and get you all the answers to the questions you may have before courses begin in another week and a half or so after the Labor Day holiday. So we're going to give you a little bit of info to start with. And what I'd like to start with is painting a picture of what the college looks like here at CCP on a regular day-to-day basis. And, you know, right now, if you were to come to campus today, we are doing our session virtually. So we had a hustle and bustle of activity on Monday and Tuesday with our in-person sessions. However, on today, it's a little bit lighter. There's external folks joining us from the college, and there's a little bit of a busyness and feel to our Student Life Center over here today from community folks who are participating, but it's light on the student end. That won't be the case in another week and a half from now. We will have folks all over the place on our main campuses and regional centers to start our fall semester, and there's a lot of happenings in and outside the classroom. And we want to give you a taste and a feel and a flavor for what that might look like, for what you can expect to see when you get here on day one. So hang tight, buckle in for the next 2 minutes, and see what you have signed up for. Maybe. That's not looking friendly to me. My apologies. Am I still sharing screen?
No.
Okay. I guess it's not doing that in screen share mode. So I will go to YouTube. Bear with me, technical difficulties. While I'm doing that, what I want to let you know is that during this presentation, you will see a lot of activity taking place on the campuses in and outside the classroom. We encourage you to take part in all of our events and resources throughout the course of the semester. And studies show that those who get involved in one activity, just one, have a much greater likelihood of success during their time as a student at whatever college they are in. And the reason is because you will be part of a new network, a new community of support folks that are going to make sure that you are able to succeed in a way that you can not do nearly as much as you can on your own compared to what you can do with the community behind you. So we want to make sure that you have folks that are, you know, here as resources for you from a staff perspective. But what you'll see in the video is students connecting with other students in and outside the classroom, as well as folks who are, you know, here to assist and support you from a faculty and staff perspective. With that, I've got my information up and running. Good old YouTube to save the day. And here's a taste and a look at what you can expect. right. So that's a little bit about what the campus looks like. And that is not a stretch to say that every day is hustling and bustling. And we've got a lot going on that we are excited to share with you. And we look forward to you being a part of this community that will be participating in a lot of these programs and activities that we will have for you on a day-to-day basis. So with that, again, we want to encourage you to get involved early and often. And the way that you can find out about how to get involved here at the campus is really through our Pride portal, which is the online campus engagement hub here at the college. And it is a link that we will provide for you in the chat at the end of this presentation. And we encourage you to take a look at that throughout the course of the next week and a half to prepare yourself for what you might want to get involved with when you get here. All of our clubs and organizations, our support resource centers and offices at the campus all have pages within the system. We also have a full, robust calendar of events that you can kind of see and map out what you might want to participate in throughout the course of your time here this coming fall. And additionally to that, if you find things that you want to get involved with and you'd like to explore further, particularly if it's an office or support service area that might be able to assist you more directly with help and support, you can find out more about them, not only on their Pride portal pages, but on the Virtual Student Resource Center page. So we'll provide that link for you also. It was also in your email that we sent for orientation. So you can check out all of the support service areas on that web page and then explore further through their various web pages as well. Some key tips and strategies we want to ensure that you walk away with today is that starting now and moving forward, the college will pretty much only communicate with you through email and specifically through your college student email. So we won't be CCing you any longer on your personal Gmail, Hotmail accounts. We pretty much never send snail mail to people's homes any longer. Everything will be conducted through college email. So it's up to you, and one of the responsibilities as a student to check your email daily for information from your instructors for coursework, information from financial aid, tuition services, how to pay your bill, how to get scholarship information, programs, activities, and the like. Start checking that daily and often. Make it a part of your routine and your habit. Also, if you are participating in any of our classes, specifically virtually and hybrid type classes, but most of our in-person courses now also have an online component, meaning that you can submit assignments, whether that be papers, take tests and exams, participate in discussion boards. All of that will be through Canvas, that is our online learning management system. We have 2 specific training webinars that will be held next week, Thursday and Friday. That information was also in the email about orientation, and we'll put those links again in the chat later this afternoon so that you can register for those if you would like to participate and get more knowledge on how to utilize Canvas. Then lastly, in the center of this slide, you see the MyCCP portal. That is where you probably have already logged into a couple times now. Specifically, you would have logged in to register for this orientation session as it's connected to the Pride portal. But the MyCCP portal is your hub for the behind the scenes of our website that has all the information connected to your student account. So whether it be transcripts, grades, financial information, registering for future coursework, all of that will be done through the MyCCP portal in the student tab. So check that regularly and often. When you come to campus, if any of you are taking classes on our main campus or regional centers and not just joining us in the virtual world, you'll note that the main campus has the most buildings. We have a Winnett Student Life building that has many of the student support resources and offices that will be able to help and assist you along the way. Also, many of our key partners are also in the Bunnell building, specifically our advisors and counselors, along with many others. And in the Pavilion building, if you haven't come yet, that is where we have our campus bookstore. You can get your textbooks. We have a cafeteria there, and there's also the hub of our Culinary Arts Center and program. We also have 3 regional centers, 2 that are located in West Philadelphia, the West Regional Center, as well as right across the street is the new Career and Advanced Technology Center. And then we also have a center in Northeast Philadelphia. You can take classes at any of our buildings, any of the regional centers or main campus at any point in time. And we encourage you to go where it is closest to you and most convenient. In terms of the folks in the Bunnell building, as mentioned, are academic advisors and counselors, both of which can assist you in terms of creating academic and graduation plans. Our advisors specifically work with new first-time students and continuing students. So for the most part, that should be most of you who are participating in today's orientation. There might be some of you who are transferring from another institution or who are readmitting to CCP after a few years. You would work with counselors. Either way, both can help and assist you to make sure that you are successful in selecting the right courses to stay on path, whatever your goal is to attain when you leave here at the college. Maybe you're looking to get a 2-year associate degree. Maybe you're only here to get a couple credits and transfer to a 4-year institution. Or maybe you're here for a shortened track to get an academic or proficiency certificate. Either way, both advisors and counselors will help walk you through your process and your journey of what you're looking to achieve and ensure that you stay on track throughout the course of your time here. Also in our Bunnell building, we have financial aid suite, student tuition services, and records and registration. All 3 of these offices maintain a customer service window that's directly behind our main entrance on the ground floor level here, seen in the picture. Right when you come into this building, our security desk is there, and to the back left of the security desk, you'll find the service window for all 3 of these resources. In the Bunnell building, also to the left of the service windows is our Veterans Resource Center. To the right is our Center on Disability. And in the back of that building, connected to Bunnell, is the Mint building, and that is where our public safety office is. So if you need to get a college ID, when you are coming to campus, which all of you will need if you do conduct business in any of our buildings, you'll need to bring a copy of your course registration, either printed or show proof of it on your phone or mobile device, as well as a driver's license or some form of identification. In our Center for Business and Industry, which is at the corner of 18th and Callowhill Streets, we have a lot of our business courses, and also for all of our majors to help and support their career now and after graduation. We have a Career Connections office that can provide a lot of assistance and support, from developing your resumes and cover letters to helping you practice and do mock interviews for upcoming job searches you might be participating in. And they host many career fairs, as well as host individual employers on campus for tabling opportunities throughout the course of any given semester. So feel free to take advantage of them to help link what you're learning in the classroom to your future or current profession. Again, here is a sampling of some of the many student resources you can see on our main campus. There are many others, and I will also provide a link for you in the chat later. Since we are virtual and you aren't having the opportunity to take a in-person campus tour, we have a link that you can take a virtual campus tour and see all of the specific resources that would be available to you in these buildings. Likewise, we'll provide a link to you for the student handbook that contains everything that the school has to offer for you in terms of providing help and support along your journey, in addition to the code of conduct, which we'll talk about momentarily. Again, as I referenced when we showed the video, we strongly encourage you to participate in something. Here's a sample of the types of things that you can get involved with outside the classroom, whether it be joining a club or organization, coming out to an event or activity, being part of our Student Voice, the elected Student Government Association, who serves as official members and officers representing the student body at large. Maybe you have an interest in writing and you'd like to participate on our student-run newspaper called The Vanguard. Maybe you have a knack for gardening. We have a full garden known as Grady's Garden, and we also help replenish our snack rack throughout the course of each semester for those folks who are seeking some food sustenance throughout the days and the weeks ahead. All of that is available to you free of charge. We also have an athletics program that is award-winning, both from a Division III standpoint, if you're looking to get involved in athletics more fully, or if you're more of a casual sport athlete, we have club and intramural sports that are also available. And if you're into volunteering and helping serve your new community here and the community at large in Philadelphia, we have an Institute for Community Engagement and Civic Leadership that hosts many opportunities to get involved and provide service to the community. I'm going to shift gears and talk about the Code of Conduct now momentarily. I'm going to give you a brief highlight overview of what that looks like here. Essentially, it is a 20-page section of our student handbook, but it boils down to really two key things. If you're someone who is a believer in the golden rule, meaning that do unto others as you would want to have done unto you, or if you've heard of the Good Samaritan rule of thumb, being good to another human being and karma will come back to you and good will come to you. Essentially, the Code of Conduct is all about that. As students, faculty, and staff members of this community, we expect all folks who are participants in our both main campus and regional centers to abide by a list of rules, guidelines, and regulations that help serve the community in terms of protection, safety, and security, and also just good general manners and behavior. So as long as you're helping support one another and you're being kind to one another, you will likely be found in good standing of the Code of Conduct. From time to time, we have students who veer off track, and we need to help get them back on the path towards success. And you will hear from our office if that is the case, and we'll talk to you about what that process looks like. The process at large, in terms of how we handle our disciplinary and judicial procedures, is contained within the Code of Conduct and the student handbook. So it's your responsibility to know and understand those guidelines, as well as your own rights and for due process, and what behavior expectations are appropriate for both in a classroom as well as outside the classroom, participating in campus events and programs. Some of the biggest offenses of the Code of Conduct can be seen here on this slide. Particularly, number one is academic integrity. We want to ensure that all students are submitting work that is of their own thoughts, their own ideas, their own opinions, particularly when you're writing research papers or essays for English courses, literature courses. You want to make sure that it is your own ideas you're presenting, and if and when and you are asked to provide additional support in terms of expert opinion, or you need to cite sources, you need to do that properly and accordingly based on the guidelines of what the faculty member tells you of how things should be cited. So you want to make sure that if you're lifting something from a text, a magazine or journal article, something you found on a website, that you're giving proper credit where credit is due and not claiming that information as your own. That will be the fastest way that you can get an academic integrity violation and a Code of Conduct violation if you are in abuse of that privilege. These are examples of what academic integrity looks like in terms of a violation of such. Again, copying and plagiarizing other people's work. It can also be cheating on exams. It can be unauthorized collaboration amongst folks in your classroom, or folks who've already taken a previous class and now you've accessed a test bank and utilizing information that was shared with a prior cohort that took that course before. All of these things can be seen as violations of academic integrity, and you don't want to be found guilty of that, because it will be a warning on your judicial record, and the sanctions will only get higher if there's subsequent offenses. But also, that is in addition to a likely failure of the assignment and possibly a failure of the course with the first offense of an academic integrity violation in a particular course. Similarly, you need to give credit where credit's due when you're using technology files such as music, videos, movies that you might be lifting to include in some of your assignments and materials. You need to give credit and or seek copyright permissions in order to be able to utilize those materials before submitting them for your work. Title IX is a federal regulation at the college, as well as every other 2- and 4-year institution across the country that receives financial aid. And what falls under Title IX is sexual assault, sexual misconduct, abuse, as well as harassment and stalking. And all of these are considered physical contact, or not only just in-person physical, but harassment and stalking in particular can also be done in a virtual setting, either through Zoom, if you have classes that are virtual or hybrid, can also be done via social media, texting, and the sorts. So none of that is acceptable here at the college. Title IX is one of the biggest offenses of the Code of Conduct in terms of what the consequences and sanctions could be. It's not a simple warning. It is on a much higher scale, and you need to make sure that you are supporting one another. And particularly if you're not involved in an incident, but you see something that is not looking appropriate, make sure you report that and do well by your neighbor and your friend and your peers and colleagues to help them and get them the help that they might need if they're not willing to speak up for themselves. Harassment and stalking, again, can be considered in all various forms, but it is essentially the unwelcomed advances of another individual, either in a stalking sense or a harassment sense. And that can come from your peers. It can also come from faculty or staff members. So if that is happening, either in the classroom or outside the classroom, we have a reporting structure in place. And we will advise you to contact the Dean of Students office or the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, who also serves as our Title IX coordinator and investigator, along with the Dean of Students office. So if you're in violation, you will hear from these offices, or if you're a victim of these allegations, please report them to us so that we can help and support you accordingly. Essentially, the Code of Conduct boils down to, like I said, the golden rule. So make sure that you know it. I did not cover 3/4 of what constitutes a violation of the Code of Conduct. I just talked about some of the heavy hitters. So you will be held responsible from this point forward. Make sure that you review the student handbook to learn much more about the code, as well as the various support resources available to you at the college. Above and beyond the code, you're also held accountable to Pennsylvania state law, as well as Philadelphia city law. And again, what you'll find in the Code of Conduct, as it outlines the process for the discipline and judicial process, it is different from the criminal process. So we have our own system in place here in terms of investigation and processes to come to some sort of conclusion and judgment on whether an allegation is true or not. And if it is, what sanctions will be put in place accordingly. Last couple of policies I want to bring to your attention. If you are on any of our campuses physically, we're a drug and alcohol free campus. You can't imbibe in anything while you're here. You can't sell any drugs or alcohol on campus, and you can't come to the campus under the influence or intoxicated prior to arriving for coursework. Title IX, as I said, covers our sexual assault, harassment, and stalking. Non-discrimination policy covers basically all classifications and walks of life, that everyone is welcome here at the college. And if you are feeling that you are being discriminated against based on any particular classification, whether that be gender, gender identity, sexual orientation, religious affiliation, race, ethnicity, et cetera, et cetera. All of that is covered under our non-discrimination clause. We want to make sure that you are protected. Please report that to the diversity office as well as the Dean of Students office, and we will investigate accordingly. Lastly, in terms of policies, your rights and responsibilities as a student and your entire student record is private to you and to you alone. That is protected by the FERPA Acts, which is the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. And that is akin to your HIPAA laws protecting your health records as an individual. So we cannot share any information about your student account, whether it be grades, judicial record, financial situation with anybody except for you, unless you give us the express written permission to do so. Information on how to add someone to your account so that we can speak with them. Maybe you have a parent or guardian or a spouse or a significant other or someone who's helping you pay the bills and you want them to be able to also have access to your information. You can find that info in the student handbook on how to add them to your safe list so we can speak with those folks. When you're on campus, if ever, both on main campus as well as the regional centers, we have a full suite of public safety professionals to help keep you safe and secure. I encourage you to take a screenshot of this and save that phone number into your mobile devices so that if you are ever in need, you can access them quickly. Obviously, you can call 911 as well, but when you are on campus, you'll receive the fastest response time from our public safety department. They are literally in the buildings in each of them and can respond quickly. And if the need is great enough, they will contact 911 on your behalf to provide backup and support. So I strongly encourage you to reach out to them first and foremost. In addition, if you don't have the number on your phone or you are just not able to call them on your phone, in the campus buildings, we have red phones. You can pick those off the hook, and likewise on the campus grounds, blue phones that also dial into public safety headquarters, and they can help and support you immediately. Or if you're in a real emergency and you can't speak, you can just take them off the hook and leave them off the hook, and our safety security professionals will be dispatched to that location to investigate the scene and resolve whatever concern there may be. Lastly, with them, they do provide walking escorts. So if you have early morning classes or late at night coursework and you don't feel comfortable getting from the building to where you parked on campus or a couple blocks away, or where you're picking up your bus stop or the subway, they will give you a walking escort to make sure you feel safe and secure. Just give them a call at their number and they will meet you there. And lastly, when you are on campus, you can access our free Wi-Fi services. It is a hidden network, so we want to give you the information up front. You would need to manually enter CCP space WLAN. There is no password. You would just type in that information in the Open Security Network and then click join. And your device should remember it each and every time you are on any of our main campus or regional center buildings. If you are in need of other help and support from a technology standpoint, our IT department can assist you. You can see the number on the slide to be able to contact them. They also have an email address. It's 4 IT support@ccp.edu. And also, we will be sending out an email in the next week or so that will alert you to some technical concerns that you might want to be aware of. From time to time, even though we have a very secure technology and firewall here at the college, as with any business that's a major organization, there are hackers out there who try to get through the system. And from time to time, you will see phishing or spamming or scamming emails come through. Please note that most of these look like they're trying to solicit you for jobs and telling you how you can earn a quick $500. Don't click on any of those links. The college will never communicate with you in that form or fashion and ask you for to provide personal information. We already have your personal information on file. So it is likely scam or a phishing email. We'll send you some information on some examples of what that might look like so that you can avoid having your information put in jeopardy. You can follow us on social media to stay attuned and abreast of all the fun happenings on all of our campuses. And the handle is @CCPEDU. The college is represented on the various social media platforms that you see here on this screen, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.